billions. One would wonder then, this is money that has been diverted, and perhaps it has taken X amount of time. Its recovery or even recouping it back and perhaps bringing the culprits to book does not seem to be a process that takes an equal amount of time. So how detrimental is such activity to the public?
Yeah, the big corruption, part of the reason, something that again for me was something that I got to learn. You know, we wonder why corruption cases take so long. But I got to learn and appreciate that big corruption is very carefully designed. If you think, for example, Anglo leasing, which at that time, 5 billion, 6 billion was a lot of money. I mean, people couldn't even imagine it. How can somebody steal that kind of money? Yeah. Now we are talking of tens of billions, which just go like that. But these kinds of corruption cases are very well designed. You remember Anglo leasing up to now has never been unraveled. You trace it, and it disappears into thin air somewhere. They are very, very carefully designed. And so for us to be able to unravel them and get to the place where we can prosecute those particular individuals involved, it takes quite a bit of time. It requires a lot of intelligence, it requires a lot of investigation, analysis of data, really to be at that place where you are confident that this case can stand in court. So that is part of the reason that it takes a very long time. Just the investigation process to the point where you are ready to take a matter to court can take several months, if not years, for the big cases. The small cases usually are easier, you know, they are more straightforward. Collecting evidence sometimes is not as difficult, and therefore you find that we are able to turn this over much faster. Gives the impression that EACC is only interested in the small fish, as we call them, but it's because the small fish are easier to catch.
And I wanted to, you brought up the issue of small fish and big fish.
Yes.
What happens if you could just, explain to Kenyans, because the small fish, yes, you've said before, the fish, even in essence, true essence, are easier to catch. But at the same time, perhaps you can net and end up getting a bigger fish, once in a while.
Yes, and we do get the big fish, and we do take them for prosecution. But like I said, because of the monies involved, these cases can drag on for a very long time. So even to get a conviction is not easy. First of all, there are possibilities that they could continue to interfere with the case in the process, because the monies they have are the kind that even you as a media person, if they tell you, don't report this, you can be silenced. You just look on the other side. So even though perhaps we have worked very hard, but the media is not reporting it because they too have been helped not to speak. I'm not saying that's what happened, but sometimes it does happen. So a lot could be going on in the background, but the public has no idea. You could be shouting, thief, thief, but you have been muffled. So even your neighbors can't come to your rescue. So these are the complications that we have. But we do forward cases. Just recently, we forwarded what is really a big case to the DPP on the Turkana wind power project.